I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamba Chanjo Padyo Tane Katsuchi Taye Jinso Gibe Sonamge Rola Penje Sange Rupasho Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamba Chanjo Padyo Tane Katsuchi Taye Jinso Gibe Sonamge Rola Penje Sange Rupasho Sanye Joda Zoge Jonamba Chanjo Padyo Tane Katsuchi Taye Jinso Gibe Sonamge Rola Penje Sange Rupasho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetu Desham Tathagato Yavata Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavata Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavata Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes the cessation causes as well as taught by this here. Okay, we are on page 21. Page 21 and verse number 63. Page 21, verse number 63. Okay. That action and activity. So this is, a better translation would be these two words put together and translated as functionalities. That functionalities, although dependent on conditions, appear to exist truly. Okay, now just see if what is being taught here reflects our thinking. For example, they say that okay, you get some idea. Okay, you get some idea of what's this flower? It's so beautiful, but it's nothing but a pure atoms. On the atomic level, this comes with the beauty dissolved. Do you agree? You thought about a little bit? You thought about it? Okay. So there, and then likewise the functionality, cause and effect. The functionality is also like a dream, and it exists only by dependent origination. There is no intrinsic, independent reality. That functionality, although dependent on conditions, but they appear to exist truly. This is weird, you know. This is not really reality, it's weird. But the grasping into existence, not only it appears, to believe that it's truly real is even more absurd. But the grasping into existence is even more absurd. And to hold on to something that is absurd, and to keep on believing that, okay, so of course things exist truly. If this is what you hold on to, that is very, very exhausting. Meaning that For example, say we see things so real in the dream, and the dream comes. And you see it's so real, and you believe that it's real. That is something very exhausting because you become helpless. Whereas you wake up, you're free from any kind of the problems in the dream goes or whatever. Problem comes, you're liberated. But when you see it so real, when it's real, then it's very exhausting. And the tears continues having to shed tears. The next, this is very, very, very true. I don't know how many of you have noticed that. For example, let's see that there's somebody who is young. Young person comes. Let's say a teenager comes. You look at it and you see that it's intrinsically young, which means that born as a young. And somebody, for example, this was what happened many years ago. I think about 30 years ago. Say one teacher, he's a brilliant philosopher, amazing enlightened, and of course he must be hitting 90s or 80s. And there was young, so I was escorting my teacher to hospital, and then in restaurants there was some young men came, and a young man who must be in 20s. So this is exactly what is happening to them, to us also. When we see someone who's young, we see that person as intrinsically young. And we see elderly, we see it intrinsically as elderly. No, they were once upon a time. How do you felt that? You have seen some photographs of somebody who was in 60s, 70s now, and who was just 20 years old. How many of you have seen these things and you see the difference? You see the difference? And it's quite a little shaking. Yes? Little shaking? Okay. So this is something which I personally would feel that unless until we're trained from our past lives, unless until we're trained in encountering these deeper realities, otherwise we are prone to see things intrinsically real, intrinsically young, intrinsically elderly, and so forth. This is what is bound to happen. And then on that basis, the feeling of affinity, aversion, bound to happen. And at the time the Buddha, when presiding over the congregation, but then the Buddha, and so in the congregation the monks, Buddha showed a flower and just showed it like this to the monks. And all the other monks, they didn't know what the Buddha was doing. And Geshe was the first heir of the Buddha. And he realized, and he started to cry. Because, as I said earlier, unless we're trained, we are bound to see things as intrinsically real. So what we're doing here will come. That some is elderly, since intrinsically is elderly, so but unfortunately born like this. Or some young, very fortunate born like this. No, this is an illusion. So the majority of the monks, they didn't know what the Buddha was doing. And Geshe, the first heir of the Buddha passed away in Mahaparinirvana, and Buddha handed over his leadership of the monastics to Geshe. And this Geshe, way before that happened, because he was highly realized, when the Buddha showed the flower, he cried. And all the other monks, they were wondering why. Why he cried? Why Geshe cried? They respected Geshe a lot. And Geshe cried, why? They didn't know. Because Buddha was indicating that even the Tathagata will lead to a so the flower, however beautiful the flower is, it is prone to decay and disappear. So this is what Buddha was teaching, and Geshe understood it. Whereas other ones, they did not understand what the Buddha was doing. Okay, so here the text reads. The text reads last paragraph, page 21. A child becomes a senior or elderly through aging. So this is a process, the reality. But when you see a senior or elderly, you see that so like it's intrinsically like this, and you can't imagine that this person, like when in 20s or 30s, was so dynamic, right? We can't imagine that. Whereas those people, me too, I'm included. When I was in my 20s, 30s, say, yes, intellectually I know. Not necessarily having to depend on those teachings. Intellectually I know that, okay, this is how people, a baby becomes a teenager, becomes a young adult, and elderly. This is the process. But experientially it was lacking. Because when I see somebody of age like my age, 14, 15, 16, when I see the photograph of the person 10 years ago, is this a person? Right? So like that. Okay. So what happened was that when I was 12 years old, I still vividly remember, when I was 12 years old, I discovered the age of one senior boy in school, and he was 16. I was literally shocked. He's too old. This feeling came to me. And then later, when I was 16, I discovered the age of one teacher who was 33. Oh. So this teacher also went to school like me. And now 33, very old. One day I was with one like that. It really shook my deep sense of I. It shook me so badly. And then I reached it in my 30s. In my 30s, I was sent to England, Cambridge. And the professor who I was talking about, the moment I reached there, that professor, just a few days ago, he happened to have celebrated his birthday, 50th birthday, 50th, 50. And he proudly told me that, I celebrated my 50th birthday just before you came. Deep inside me, what's going in my mind? In 33 years old boy, what to celebrate half a century gone? This is like insult. It's insult. It's not a celebration, it's insult. Deep inside me. Then I gradually became in my 40s. I was invited by one of the university's vice chancellor for a meal. And it so happened there was the senior professor, very senior professor, lady professor, she must be in her 70s. And she knew my predecessor, the former director of the House. And she was, the vice chancellor must have told her that I'm also inviting the new director of the House. And she knew the former director. The former director was already in 70s. And she was maybe expecting grey hair, the director coming. And she looked at me and said, young director. Young director. She said 3 times. 3 times. And suddenly she was conscious. Okay, it is like what young director means, inexperienced director. Right? So suddenly she was conscious and she corrected herself. Oh, I mean young in age. You getting it? Okay, that was mine. There was in mine the 40s. Then I was in my 50s with my friend in Mumbai. And my friend, he was in 60s. And so he said, okay, now I can't do anything. I'm old, I'm in 60s. This is what he said. I said, no, 60 is nothing. He said, how old are you? I said, 50, you are a baby. Okay, no, these are all illusions we create. So whereas, if you really think of what the significance behind what the Buddha did, showing the flower, Everybody has to go through this process. Everybody, no exception. No exception. If you can apply this to yourself, that's very beautiful. That your life will be full of meaning. So it says, I shall become a senior through aging. Okay, then the translation of the okay, it's fine. The one that is senior right from the birth, meaning that ordinary people will get a feeling that this senior or elderly person, although intellectually you know that once upon a time he was, very young, youthful, dynamic, but then the experiential speaking, you live in the illusion that this is like intrinsically like this, intrinsically by birth, from the beginning, it's like this. That is the metaphor for our seeing things as intrinsically real 24/7. Equals meaning that is a metaphor. This is similar to the appearance of existence and the very grasping appearance of existence as truly real and the very grasping at it as truly real. This is the metaphor. Okay, so unless we do something to unentangle this grasping to existence, it's very scary, extremely scary. Unless we do something to get away from this grasping to existence, very scary. What the life is going to be like, this life, next life. This is the only way. So next, the next page. Now the author is giving, on behalf of the wisdom of emptiness, author is giving numerous examples. In fact, it's very important for us to study emptiness with the help of numerous examples. For example, say the Buddha in the the Damdul Sutra. In Damdul Sutra, that the Buddha taught in Tibetan. So this is the in Tibetan. In English, it should be here in the book. To translate it just on the spot would be a little difficult. So it should be on page 8 or somewhere. No, it should where? Which page?
Page 15.
Page 15.
Verse 8.
Yes, verse 8, page 15. A star. Page 15, 15. Page 15, it reads, a star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. So numerous examples. How everything's like dream, everything's like the illusion, everything's like the lightning, a cloud, and so forth. Just take out numerous examples of illusion like then your understanding can go deeper. So examples are very important. Okay, now the author is giving numerous examples in detail. The text reads, in the sky of the empty mind. No. So you say good, bad, nice, not nice. So this is all the judgment made by your mind. How many agree with your hands? All judgment made by your mind. I'm sad, I'm happy. All your mind is saying this. So this mind is like the different metaphors, examples are given in the sky. Metaphor of the sky is given. Your mind is like your mind is like the sky. The sky. In the sky, the cloud formation happens. For example, you see your body. And then you see the house, physical form. You see all these physical forms to your mind. And on that basis, you see that there's a physical form there. So, in the sky of the empty mind, in the sky, the cloud formation is a metaphor of the illusional body. Illusional body in the body, which is like illusion. How illusion? Though appear, they don't exist objectively. Therefore, they're like illusion. Illusional body takes place. Then, what happens? You have the mind to which the reflection of the body happens, and you think that there's a body here, and then on that basis, then your thought processes become active. okay, I'm male, I'm female, I'm not female, I'm not male, I'm this, I'm that, I'm young, I'm old, and so forth. All these things come into being, motivated by multitude of conceptual thoughts, a vast range of actions, and again, actions, activities. This is how they translate it. Translated, this is not a better translated, functionalities. A vast range of functionality falls, meaning that all the functionality falls. For example, let's say that I'm a human being, I have to eat human food, not the other food, and my body cannot be wet too much, so that I cannot go out in the rain, I should umbrella. All these functionalities come into being. Then for my, say, the security, I have to work hard now. So for the body, all these things happen. So all this functionality came into being depends on the body, which is like illusion, coming into existence by the power of your mind, perceiving it objectively empty. Yet nobody sees that they arise from the cause conditions of mind. Yet all these things are seen so objectively real, not seen as the dependent arising. We see them as objectively real when analyzed. But if you take a little bit of your own time and space to think of, so what is this? The mind, the physical body, and the functionality. You think of these things like the rain, the cloud, the sky-like mind. You analyze these things. Even the rain is also empty of objective reality. The cloud is also empty of objective reality. And the mind is also empty of objective reality. Likewise, your mind is the empty of objective reality, and the physical form which appears to your mind also empty of objective reality, and the functionality which comes as the product of these two things coming together is also empty of objective reality. When analyzed then the three, the rain, cloud, and mind, although arising, they arise from the space. For example, the cloud, it arises from the space, and it dissolves into space, like the waves. They arise from the ocean, and they dissolve in the ocean. So everything that exists in the world, they arise from the emptiness, they dissolve in the emptiness. Okay. Although arising from the space itself, although dissolving in the space itself. Next, another example now. So numerous examples given, one after another. Next is the example mirror is given. In the mirror of the empty mind, again same. In the mirror of the empty mind appears the reflection of the dream body. In the mirror, what's the job of the mirror? Reflection to be created. So reflection of the dream body, meaning that my body is like dream. Dream is empty of reality, but it still appears. So that appears through causes and conditions dependent on arising sleep, and through the imprint of prior habituation, meaning that, for example, let's say that, say there's the person, say a poor person with the, say, little bit of money in his hand, say 1,000 rupees in his hand, coming in, and say two persons look at this person, the same person, and one person, how to take advantage to take away this money, and some person, this is, how can I help this person? How can I help? Right? To make sure that, this is very interesting. So I have seen documentary, it's like a shop kit where the cashier of the shop, the fellow sitting dozing off on the table, and the money, everything lying there. Right? And the customer comes, and he bought something, and the cashier was sleeping. So, what do you do?
Wake up the issue.
No. Wake up is very rude. So what he did was that, so he can actually take the money, right? Or what he did is very interesting. What he did, two things. One, what it is that he paid the money through his mobile there, and he took the receipt, and he showed the receipt on camera. I'm not stealing, I'm buying it, I'm leaving money here. The money lying on the table, what he did, he put them together and covered it with a book or something there. So the other customers cannot see this. This is amazing. Jack, amazing? Yes. Very similar. So when you're handwriting calligraphy, I asked Jack, how's this? How is this? And he said, very good. I said, you do not appreciate the convention. And he said that, he agrees with me. He said that that's true. Whosoever wrote it with a very pure heart. I said that you do not appreciate the handwriting, you appreciate the person's heart. This is Jack. Who is not too happy with the conventions, but he appreciates someone's good heart. That is Jack. Okay, so this is one thing. And then another one which that's amazing. That's amazing. The compassion is amazing. One thing which actually happened, me and my senior, who is about, I think, how many years senior to me? 3 years senior to me, amazing, great practitioner. Software and the world is very bad. Okay, so this monk who, I think, 3 years senior to me, and he's an amazing practitioner. So two of us, we were going for an evening walk. And it was a steep, the monks was there, and it was steep down, steep grove. Growers were climbing down. And somewhere in the middle, there was a young boy, maybe age 12, 13, who was cycling. And he lost control of the brake. Which means steep down means speed. With the speed, this boy, it hit the monk. And then I thought that now the monk is going to beat this boy up. Right? And the boy fell in the bush. My senior, the monk, he jumped there and just picked this boy up, saved him. And then asked him, are you okay? Right? The bicycle actually hit the monk. But the monk didn't care about this. The first immediate reaction was to save this boy, to make sure that he's not injured. Wow, this is Dharma practice. I'm so impressed. Jack, impressed? Yes. I'm so impressed. And just recently I saw a clip, which is beautiful, very heart-touching, that a boy again lost control of the brake, a young boy, and then his cycle hits a car, and the car is crashed. And the car owner, what will the car owner do? Usually, get out and punish the boy, right? So what the car owner did was that he just checked what the situation was, and he didn't say anything. He left. And in a few days' time, he checked who the boy was. He brought a new bicycle to the boy, for the boy. Said that your brake is gone, it's an old bicycle. Remove it, use this. He gave a new bicycle. Said that so that you will not be injured in the future. Amazing. You will not be injured. It's not about my car will not be damaged in the future. No, he's not going to worry with that. Otherwise, you will continue to, hit against something, and then you will be injured, and people may beat you up. So use this cycle. That's amazing. Good people are there. It's amazing. So let us also try in our own ways to be kind to some other people in a little, more profound way. Good. So it says okay. So why I'm saying this is that how two people they react to the same situation differently. One thinking of stealing, one thinking of protecting. Why? How come that two people, they have two different thought processes, two opposite ways of thinking with respect to the same thing? Why? Previous imprints. Where you're used to compassion in the past. You're used to integrity in the past. So the imprints will activate, and then your compassion automatically manifests. Whereas bad imprints are activated from the past, and naturally you are engaged in bad deeds. So habitual, this is what I'm reading here. Through causes, conditions, dependent arising in sleep, and through the imprint of prior habituation, one will master all actions of cause and effect. Then you know about cause and effect. So these are all, if you go there, they don't, for example, say, some people, they say, who are extremely good in painting, music, football, for example, right? Messy. So, whosoever has good qualities, depending on your level of maturation. If you have very high good qualities in terms of skills or wealth or power and so forth, ego also shoots up. This all goes up. So the ego, that is given rise to the self-grasping ignorance. Whereas some people, however wealthy you are, however powerful you are, the compassion is the core. It's amazing. It's not that everybody's saying. So, and the thing is that the perception thinks is intrinsically real, that counts. Everybody sees them only in mere appearance. The reality is a mere appearance. There's no objective reality. But at the time of analysis and deconstruction, I do not see them as existing in reality. They do exist objectively. Okay, so say, if you go in a very casual dress, in a five-star hotel, what will people do? They will scan your body, right? No machine, no eyes, like this. They will scan you right away. Okay. So Jack, tell me, what's the difference? What is the difference between casual dress and formal dress? What's the difference?
Mine's considered more appropriate for certain occasions.
Yeah, in actuality, there's no difference, right? Put a tie, just a robe. Robe here, you call it tie. And a handkerchief for the nose and give it here, and it's fashion. And what else? Okay, so all these things, these are all just mental fabrications. But they bind us. Yes, they bind us. Gucci, Vuitton, what else? Min, what else? Gucci, Vuitton, you have no idea. Tim? No idea. Bra. Is it enough? No? I never heard it. Krishna, I don't know. What is it? It's food or clothes? Clothes, I see. Okay, so I think I should do the same next time. Okay, so what is this? To be very honest, I would say that they are extremely skilled tailors without any label. And what they stitch and what these companies they bring is same. Very skilled tailors. But one is so expensive and one is very cheap. It's pure convention. Yes, Jack? It's pure convention. Okay, so and so everybody sees them only in mere appearance. The reality is just mere appearance. What they're seeing is mere appearance, but they see them as intrinsic real. By the time of analysis, if you subject to other analysis, deconstruction, then you see that they don't exist at all objectively. Next. Okay. Although things arise, for example, like say cold winter, spring arises and the winter ceases. What was non-existent arising, they arise from the mind itself. When dissolved from the mind itself, like the waves, they arise from the ocean, they go back into the ocean. Karmic causes and effect are posited as mere appearance. Mere appearance arises from the mind and dissolving into the mind. In the water of then another example. So series of examples given by God, that is amazing. Now next is the example given of the reflection in the water. In the water of the empty mind itself, the mind, given the metaphor of the water body, the reflection of the wisdom of the moon arises. From this mind, the wisdom of the moon, the wisdom of emptiness arises. And this moon, the reflection of the moon, what it does, it removes the darkness of the darkness. So this wisdom removes the darkness of ignorance, wrong views. And reality is understood through the dependent arising. Reality meaning suchness, ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is understood through the dependent arising of the water of the empty mind and the reflection of the wisdom moon. Everybody sees that the nominal meaning, what is conventionally, is posited as mere appearance, as just on the level of the appearance. Yet I do not see the analyzed meaning as established. I do not see these things, when analyzed, I do not see these things as established objectively. Although they arise, again saying, although they arise with appearance, it's a dream. The dream came from where? The dream arose from where? It arises from the mind, and when you wake up, it goes back into the mind. Okay, so although they arise from the mind. Although they dissolve into the empty minds. Okay, next example. Next example is the example of the echo. Echo in the empty stone mountains. Where do you hear the echo? In the big halls, in the caves, and even sometimes where the caves is very prominent. Sometimes where they say the mountains, in the mountain place, you shout. It's bounced back and you can hear the echo. So it says, in the empty stone mountains of this mind, a sound reverberating with dharma. Even say, for example, like the Buddha appeared and Buddha gave the teachings. From the Buddha's mind, teachings come into being. So sound reverberating with dharma appears. This dharma cloud, superimposing, change it to clear the concepts or to explain, to explicate, or to clear the concepts of the mode of abiding. So what is this dharma sound? That is to explain the mode of abiding. Mode of abiding meaning true nature, that nothing is truly. So they say from the empty stone mountains, for example, you say, hey, Bodhicitta is so precious. In the mountains area, you will just shout, Bodhicitta is precious, and it will come back in the form of echo, Bodhicitta is precious. So there is a dharma. There's dharma. So all dharmas are like this, all dharma teachings they are like the echo, but depends on the mind and the echo, the sound. These two come together, manifesting the form of the dharma teachings to explain the mode of abiding. And then express the sound of an echo, the great sound of empty words, and these words, they're empty meaning, empty objective reality. There's nothing really there as the okay. So we use the bell. I'm not talking about this bell, the gong. I'm talking the bell, voice on the bell. Have you seen that? Voice on the bell. Okay. Vajra and the bell. These two have incredibly great significance and symbolism. One which I'm going to explain. Vajra means indestructible, diamond. Diamond is considered a very hard stone, indestructible. So, is the union of the wisdom and the purity of the bliss. Union is that. And the bell, sound arises. This sound came from where? Where is the sound? So it's by dependence on this metal and the ring, and of course you should hollow inside. But depends on these factors, then the sound happens. If the hollow inside is blocked, no sound. If this metal to hit the rim, if this is missing, no sound. If the rim is missing, no sound. Sound is just the phenomenon which arises by dependence on these multiple factors. So this is the reminder of the emptiness nature of phenomena. In the Tantric text, the treatises in the Tantric text, there's a mention that the Vajra symbolizes the method and the bell symbolizes the wisdom to see the emptiness. Where these sounds coming together, the sound existed. This sound is empty of independent existence. So this is a part of the sadhana of the Tantra. Okay, so the great sound of empty verse and great rock face the rock or the mountain. Through the combination of these causal conditions, empty sound spreads and echo spreads. It's amazing. Okay, the next is the example of the lamp, light. It is the lamp eliminating the darkness of ignorance. So this wisdom is the lamp to remove the darkness of ignorance. So how do we generate this, introduce this lamp? How do we introduce the light of the wisdom? Listening and contemplating. So through the listening, you get the information. Through contemplating, you get the confidence. Through meditating, the mental transformation takes place. So this is all happening not intrinsically, but on the level of the mere appearance. Contemplation is done in mere appearance. I do not see it as existing when analyzed. When you subject this to ultimate analysis, they're non-existent, which means that objectively they're empty. But our ignorance says that they exist intrinsically. So when you see things as intrinsically real, this is ignorance, and out of the ignorance, all the fears arise. Okay, let's say seeing the dream goes as objectively real is ignorance or wisdom? Ignorance. And when does it happen? In the dream or outside the dream? In the dream. So it is ignorance, it happens in the dream, and what is the emotional outcome? The fear. You agree? Okay, three things. Number one, seeing the dream goes as objectively real is ignorance or wisdom? Number one, ignorance. And when does it happen? In the dream or outside the dream? It happens in the dream. And what's the emotional outcome? Fear. Okay. So dream is symbolic of the ignorance. Ignorance, self-grasping ignorance. This dream is the sleep, while self-grasping ignorance creates the dream of the conventional world. And seeing this conventional world is real, this is the self-grasping ignorance. And as long as you have this belief that things which are real, outcome is fear, the tears, all these things happen. Now, seeing the dream goes as subjectively real, empty of objective reality, is ignorance wisdom. Is the wisdom. And where does it happen? In the dream or outside dream? It happens outside dream. What's the emotional, the outcome? The fear dissolves. This is liberation. This is the peace. Okay. So, it says, it is a lamp eliminating the darkness of ignorance. Listening and contemplating done to awaken this light, the lamp. It is done in the mere appearance, not objectively. I do not see it as existing when analyzed. When analyzed meaning? When analyzed means subjecting to ultimate analysis. Subjecting even the listening and contemplating so called to ultimate analysis, I don't see them as existing objectively. Although arising, they arise from the mind itself, although dissolving, they dissolve into the mind itself. Hence, okay, now easy. Hence, as two of us, meaning the wisdom and youth, the wisdom saying me and you, two of us, have antithetical ways of apprehending, opposite ways of apprehending things. I say things don't exist truly, and you say things exist truly. So these two cannot coexist. We have antithetical ways of apprehending. There's no place where we can abide simultaneously. We cannot really abide, stay together. Go. So therefore you self-grasping, go somewhere. Don't stay with me. Go wherever you have to go. Next. The true grasping meaning self-grasping, grasping and true existence. Replies, it says to return. Whatever empty words, okay, this is very powerful. This reflects our thought processes. You're getting it, we study emptiness, everything's like green and so forth. And then when we meet with cheesecake, right? You forget emptiness. You're getting it? So it says that true grasping says in return. Whatever empty words you say it's empty, empty, empty. Let's see whether it's empty or not. I will send my 8 worldly dharmas, 8 worldly concerns to you, to this mind, and then see whether it's empty or not. But whatever empty words you say, when I send out the 8 dharmas, 8 worldly dharmas, there's clarity, then everybody sees this so objectively clear, objectively real, so clearly as objectively real. True, not true. What are the 8 worldly dharmas? What are the 8 worldly dharmas? Okay, here. Yes, Shubham.
Pain, pleasure, gain, loss, praise, criticism, and there was one
Happiness, suffering. Okay, so what are the 8 worldly dharmas? So how Shubham the presented is for us to for a formula. But the actual understanding of the 8 worldly dharmas is that becoming excited and happy over gaining material things, gain, and becoming demoralized over losing the material things. 2. Pain and gain, gain and loss. The next, pleasant and unpleasant words. To say, getting excited over hearing pleasant words, and feeling demoralized over hearing unpleasant words. 2. Okay. So my friend, when he comes to, he fixed appointment to meet me. And finally we met. And then when it's pleasant for him to hear, he will overstay. When I say something which is not pleasant to his ears, he will just go to watch. Like this. And say, okay, Ishana. No, actually he doesn't want to hear this unpleasant thing. You're getting it? So this is how we are. So when unpleasant things, you hear unpleasant things, we see unpleasant things intrinsically real. When it's pleasant things, we see that it's intrinsically real. So emotionally attached. Because of this, you want to keep sitting there. Right? And then, so it's already 12:35, the bell rang. So why is not stopping here? So unpleasant feeling comes, intrinsic unpleasant feeling comes, right? Okay, Ishana, better you stop, right? And the theme of this lunch, each is a pleasant feeling, right? Intrinsic pleasant feeling comes. Okay, so let's finish this about stop here. Okay, so we 8 bundle concerns. In the afternoon we'll continue. Okay, if Anila or somebody you like me to hand out to Anila and Carmen, hand out. So those who already know is by heart. Okay, Anila, Anila, we're going to sing this. We're going to sing. We're going to chant. This is the Buddha's grace. Praise to Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay. Yes. And English is there. English? Yes. Okay, three persuasions together.